And when it's playoff time, even the warm-ups can seem heated. These guys all thinking ahead to this big game. Here in round one of the Eastern Conference playoffs, this has been a hard-fought matchup. Game 6 tonight with everything on the line. I'm Brian Anderson, and with me tonight, Grant Hill and Tim Legler. And down on the sidelines is Allie LaForce. You take a look at the 76ers. What a huge game tonight for this team. Down 3-2. They have to win at home to extend this series.
And I'll tell you what, B.A., these fans know that. You get the sense they are extra rowdy. They understand what their team needs.
Philadelphia moving it around. For three, George. Rebounded by the Celtics. Here's Hauser. From outside, off the mark.
Man, that's his shot. Maybe he was too wide open.
Maxey passes to George. Back to Maxey. 6 to shoot. Shoots over White. The rebound by Jason Tatum. Boston on offense. Pass to Brown. First quarter of play, a minute in. Here's Tatum. Nice start for him, sinking his first shot.
And sometimes you forget how long Tatum is, and he's terrific at using this to his advantage inside.
Here's Edgecombe. Here's the pick. Pass to Barlow. Here's Bonham. Here's Edgecombe. Defended by Brown. There's the three. The Sixers with another miss.
And you just can't afford to give up that kind of look very often.
And for the Sixers, the growth of Tyrese Maxey has been everything, Grant.
Oh, my. His growth, both with his play, but also with his leadership, has meant a lot. And he has such a joyful energy that really helps pull this team together. The defensive effort was lacking a bit, but hey, give them credit for finding a weakness there.
Well, with that kind of success, I imagine they'll continue to be aggressive inside.
No problems knocking that one down.
And the defense has to be more aware of Paul George. You got to know how fast his trigger is.
And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. There's Tatum with the three. Up again. Great positioning on the putback.
I always love the hard work on the glass. Just great activity.
Pass to Edgecombe. Maxey with a screen on Brown. Here's Edgecombe. Now Maxey jacks up a three. And that one fall for him. He's 0 for 2. Brown passes to Queta. Now Brown beyond the arc. Counted from distance.
Even when Brown's shooting quickly, he's not rushing. He takes his time with his release.
All right, let's get a report from Allie.
Thanks a lot. The Sixers are trying to pull it all together. Joel Embiid said, "We still can compete for a championship, but this is going to take time. We have a lot of talent, but we still have to go out and actually do it. It's just hard. We've got a pretty good chance to accomplish something." Guys, back to you.
It's all about health. All right, Allie, thanks a lot.
Attacking in the painted area. Clearly that was their game plan coming in.
Maxey surveying the D. They set the pick. Here's George. Queta pulls it in.
And you see the frustration on his face. He had a great opportunity there, and he blew it.
Hauser can't get it to go. And so it's Maxey who brings up the ball for the Philadelphia 76ers. They trail by 6. Pass to George. From the arc. And it's Jason Tatum with a rebound.
Yeah, and the defense has really got to tighten up on him. I mean, he's just too dangerous from the three-point line.
In a lot of ways, Paul George has been the prototype of the modern swingman, Grant.
Yeah, 6'8", and with his versatile skill set, plug and play on any team. But health has been a challenge as of late. Now in his mid-30s, can he maintain that elite level?
Now here's Maxey. No points yet.
It's like he's doing pull-ups on the rim.
Look like a schoolyard playground right there. And so it's Boston with it. They lead by 4. And so Joe Mazzulla decides to call a timeout. And we might see some changes. Coach potentially looking to adjust. Oubre, he's checked in for Philadelphia. Grimes comes in for George. Here's Shireman. Shot from the inbound. And he drops that one in.
Big ups to this coaching staff. Great play design there.
Maxey against Pritchard. It's Grimes on the wing. To the right side. 6 on the shot clock. For 3, Maxey. Here's Bona. And a miss there on the triple.
Yeah, you know, he usually makes you pay from that range.
26 seconds left in the opening quarter. Here's Vucevic. Oh, he missed the layup. He had him with the pump fake. To the middle. And he slams it in one-handed.
B.A., the one-hand dunk just looks so fluid.
Yeah, and absolutely. Even smooth when he's powering it home like that. Here's Shireman. That misses. Would have counted had it gone. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Celtics out in front. They lead by 4. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports. And welcome back to 2K Sports, everybody. This game 6 getting started. And for Boston guys, what jumps out to you stat-wise?
But simple. Rebounding made all the difference in the first quarter. They really got after it.
You give any team this many second chance opportunities, it's going to put you in control.
Now here's Tatum. 3-pointer. Good work defensively by Oubre. 76ers trail by 4. Grimes, the pass to Lowry. Down low. Drummond. And Drummond with the jam.
A maestro running the two-man game. Now Lowry with textbook guard play there.
Oubre against Tatum. Pass to Vucevic. Stolen by Drummond. Here's Watford. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
And just a shrewd pass by Lowry. He has a gift for seeing what's happening on the floor and finding shooters.
Pritchard from outside. Philadelphia grabs the miss. Seems like this offense is being executed the way it was designed.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach couldn't be happier with the results. The effort, the position, the timing, all there.
And add instincts to that. He can sense where the rebound's going to go. And so Joe Mazzulla decides to call a timeout. He's going to talk it over with his guys. And the 76ers with some changes. Barlow's checked in for Drummond. George comes in for Watford. And it's Tyrese Maxey in for Lowry. The Celtics also with a sub. Brown, he's checked in for Walsh. Now here's Tatum. George with a steal. Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. Right side Maxey. Out to Oubre. Launches a 3. Drops in the 3. And now it's a 5-point 76ers lead.
Well, that's a tough matchup because he's skilled and relentless.
Pass to Vucevic. And here's Brown. Shot to stop the run. Bullseye! Jaylen Brown!
These teams are finding the range, showing a lot of confidence.
Yeah, he was so ready to answer that. These teams are just battling.
Back to Maxey. That's good. His first made shot in 3 attempts.
Sometimes the D likes to get physical with Maxey, but he has no back down in him.
How about the motor of Tyrese Maxey, Tim? He just does not quit ever.
He's one of those guys who tracks the most miles run during games. Maxey probably wears out his shoes faster than anyone. Sharp turns, hard cuts. He's always on the move.
Maxey on the wing, inside, from the low block. And there's the play by Oubre inside. Oubre's got 7 points. All right, a look at how the hustle game has been going for the 76ers.
Yeah, they're just attacking on defense, getting those hands out and knocking the ball free. I really like their energy defensively.
And then there's the points off turnovers. They've really made the other team pay when they've lacked ball security.
Getting it done inside. You know, I love seeing George be active on the interior.
George against Tatum. It's Brown on the wing. And the jam by Brown.
You can tell Brown is having fun. What a phenomenal dunk artist he is.
Here's Maxey. So Nick Nurse has decided to call timeout here. He's going to gather the troops and talk it over. And it sure seems like post play has evolved quite a bit over the past decade or two.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, there aren't many big men who operate only on the low block anymore. But if they do, they're considered throwbacks.
Bonus checked in for the Sixers. Edgecombe comes in for Grimes. Austin also changing it up. Tatus checked in for Vucevic. Hauser comes in for Jason Tatum. And Derek White subbed in for Shireman.
I really don't think there's any way to slow them down. They have the defense scrambling out there.
Well, they've gotten the matchup they want every time up the floor, and they have taken advantage of that.
And here's Brown for 3. No good. 3 for 4 in the game now. Philadelphia leading by 8. Pass to Maxey. Here's Bonner. Now here's George. Driving in. 1:04 left in the first half. Pritchard against Maxey. 5 to shoot. Another shot. Count the basket. And now it's a 10-point 76ers lead.
And capable of sticking it from the mid-range. I like seeing Maxey go to work from this area.
Pritchard, the pass to Queta, knocks it loose. It's stolen by Maxey. George with it, now guarded by Brown. And Maxey gets it to go on the assist by George. George has got his 3rd assist of the night. Celtics trail by 12. Outside, Brown. Wow, gutsy finish inside by Brown.
Brown taking on all challengers. This kind of fearless approach is what his teammates and coaches love seeing.
Maxey against Pritchard. George for 3. He drops it from range. George has got 8.
And just totally relentless, only increasing the intensity level.
Yeah, he can taste a win right now. He's just trying to close it out.
And so it's the Philadelphia 76ers in a good situation, up by 13 points to close the quarter. They hold a real solid lead right now. Love their approach tonight. More NBA on 2K Sports right after this.
Thanks for joining us for postseason basketball. Clearly, guys, the second half going to be a tough task for the Boston Celtics.
You're not going to win many games shooting under 30% from 3. If they want to climb back into it, they've got to focus on getting easier looks there, Ernie.
Not everybody can be like the Jet, though, who shot a career 40% from behind the line.
39.9%. That half year in Atlanta killed it, Ernie.
I would agree with that.
Taking a look at the situation for the Philadelphia 76ers. still alive, but facing some long odds. How do they keep hope alive?
Well, I think those tough moments are what reveal a lot of character, Ernie. I mean, how you perform when things aren't going your way, that's what makes you a pro.
And what makes you elite, it's not being that bad position in the first place.
Interesting point. That's it for us. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's send you over to Brian Anderson with the third period.
And thanks for sticking with us as this round one game continues. Wow, it's been quite a game for Jaylen Brown.
Well, tonight is a big game, and you have to be impressed with the way he's come out firing.
Well, he is a guy you want to go to with the game on the line.
Celtics trail by 13. Pass to Tatum. Hey, Tatum getting it done inside.
A great move. I mean, the defense has no response.
Well, getting a high percentage look right out of the locker room to start the second half. Exactly what they were looking for.
Outside, Brown. Nice pass, nice catch, and a resounding dunk.
Got the ball right inside. Such a well-timed pass.
Grant, the thing about Jaylen Brown, he doesn't need a lot of space to get his shot off.
You know, B.A., he has a quick release and rises high on his jumper. Has a great up fake and can stop on a dime. Usually all the space he needs to find his shot.
Let's check in with our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Jaylen Brown is rounding out his game in all facets. He said, I've definitely worked on my playmaking, just being able to see the floor, making great reads, creating for my teammates, and putting pressure on the defense. Back to you, Brian.
Allie, thanks for the report. Here's George, following the three by Boston. And that time also a missed shot. Celtics trail by 6. Outside Tatum. Here's Kata. Outside Brown. Shot clock at 6. From outside the arc. Barlow grabs a miss.
Just enough of a shot contest to bother him.
To the inside, George. Count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed pass. George has got 10 points in the game.
Sturdy play from George in the paint, getting by the contact and to his finish.
Nice ball movement by Boston. And here's Brown for 3. Again, Brown missing. And so it's George with it. He brings it up for the Philadelphia 76ers. 13 points was their biggest lead of the game. White against Maxey. And rejected. And they forced the shot clock violation. Great D. And the fans love seeing incredible moments on defense like that block.
You know that block has him and his teammates all pumped up. That is what playoff basketball is all about.
Celtics trail by 8. And here's White. Oh, here's White on the drive. Now here's Brown. Tightly guarded. And White, the bucket on the assist by Brown. White's got his second basket on the night.
They're doing the job on both ends, getting stops and attacking offensively.
And their all-around play has been the key to chipping away at this deficit.
Grimes, he's checked in for Maxey. The Sixers lead by 5. Outside Grimes. Pass to Edgecombe. Fires from deep. Oh, drew the foul and almost hit the three-point bucket. But he'll head to the line for 3. So far, Grant, we've seen some encouraging intangibles from VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah, you know, he reminds me of Victor Oladipo or even a Dwayne Wade physically. Just an explosive athlete. And I love the way he uses that strength and quickness at the defensive end of the floor.
Nikola Vucevic is checked in for Boston. And Legs is someone who has seen some of the great perimeter defenders over the years. Who's the best you've ever seen?
Well, the best defense, Brian, I ever played against were those mid-90s Bulls teams when you had to go up against Jordan and Pippen on either wing. And then more modern-day players like Drew Holiday, even a guy like Tony Allen when he was in Memphis, they stand out to me as well.
First team all-defense, Tony Allen.
Year in, year out, a nightmare to go up against.
For three, George knocks down the long J. George has got 13 now.
Yeah, it seems like George could do this all night. He just keeps finding shots.
White on the wing. 5 points in the game. Picked by Vucevic. Clock at 6. And Boston again with the bucket.
Defensively, you can't afford to get stuck on the pick.
Well, you just have to communicate those switches. If you don't, it's on you.
Here's Edgecombe. He's got 5. Pass to Barlow. Takes the 3. And it's cleared by Vucevic. Celtics trail by 9. Here's Tatum. Laid it in with a nice touch off the window. Give him 8.
It's not easy to work the ball inside in this league, but they've done it all night.
Here's Edgecombe. Back to George. We've got 1:13 left in the third quarter. Pass to Barlow. The 3 from Edgecombe. That one doesn't drop. Good work defensively by White. To the paint. Here's Vucevic. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. Now just a 5-point 76ers lead.
There's a reason Vucevic shoots a great percentage. So adept and skilled at scoring inside.
Outside Grimes. Pass to George. Knocks down the triple. George has got 8 points here in the quarter.
Exactly what every offense needs. Shooters who can force the defense to extend.
Yeah, that's how you create that spacing, and that will open up a lot of options offensively.
Now here's Brown. He's got 13. Jason Tatum, he's a sharpshooter.
And both teams running long-range plays that are working.
Yeah, just going back and forth, it is really competitive out there.
Here's George. Boston pulls it in. Up top, Tatum. Here's the 3. He got it up in time, but it would not fall for him. Paul George, he's feeling it tonight. He's been the driving force for the Philadelphia 76ers, helping them space the floor. 2 triples in that quarter. 3 for the game. We'll be right back after this word. Great to have you with us again as we return to our coverage of round 1. Drummond, a screen on Pritchard. Maxey passes to Drummond, and so he draws the foul, headed to the line to shoot a pair. It's going to belong to Nikola Vucevic. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for Philadelphia.
I mean, they've played some beautiful basketball all game. The passing has been impressive, and it's opened up things with their ball movement.
I really like their effort in transition tonight, constantly pushing the pace and then turning that into points.
And so Drummond nails them both. Celtics trail by 7. Inside. Nice ball movement by Boston. On the wing, Tatum. He's covered by Oubre. 5 on the clock. Shot is up. Off the left rim and out. Philadelphia leading by 7. Outside Maxey. Pass to Drummond. And Drummond with the jam.
You know, one thing about Maxey is that he always is looking for an outlet.
To the middle. Here's Vucevic. Uses the glass on the layup.
Oh, what great action we've seen tonight. Hard to imagine a more entertaining game.
This is what the fans came to see. A lot of great plays going back and forth.
Now here's Oubre. Down low. Vucevic with the steal. It's 2-on-1. Tatum on the drive. Intercepted. Maxey against Pritchard. Pass to Drummond. And here's Maxey outside. Boston pulls it in. Tatum's got 5 rebounds tonight. Here's Shireman. Watford covering. Back to Tatum. 6 on the shot clock. Lets it fly. Set it up with a fake, but it's offline. The Sixers lead by 7. Pulls it in from the elbow. Philadelphia with another miss. To the inside. And the power finish by Vucevic.
Love it when Vucevic attacks with intent. He has the size and strength to dominate around the cup.
And so it's Nick Nurse calling timeout here. He clearly wants to talk it over and make sure everyone is focused. And a new group getting ready for the Sixers. Bonus checked in for Drummond. Barlow comes in for Watford. Paul George, he's checked in for Oubre. And it's Edgecombe in for Grimes. Brown, he's checked in for Boston. Derek White comes in for Shireman. A moment to hear from Allie LaForce.
I was able to listen in on what Nick Nurse had to say to the team, and he encouraged them to stay focused and not get complacent, saying we've worked too hard to get this lead and we're not going to give it up now. Stay connected, play smart, let's get this win. Guys, back to you.
All right, appreciate it, Allie. Here's Brown, and Jaylen Brown gets a whistle that time. That's his first foul.
And just a great job of getting there first and absorbing the contact.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Queta comes in for Nikola Vucevic. And it's Hauser in for Pritchard. Pass to Bona. To the left wing. They set the pick. Here's George. Fires the 3. And rebounded by Tatum. Outside Brown. Now White. Here's the pass to Brown. In the corner, Tatum. Ooh, rugged finish from Tatum.
When this team needs a bucket, it naturally looks for Jason Tatum, and he typically comes through.
Now it's Maxey. Jacks up a 3. Can't get it.
I mean, he's trying to shoot his way out of what's becoming a prolonged cold streak.
And he doesn't have to do it alone. He's got 4 teammates on the floor.
Brown on the wing. They double team Brown. White outside. To tie it up. 3-pointer goes up. 3-pointer goes down for White.
That's exactly the kind of shooting you need down the stretch to win games.
George outside. Oh, no good again that time. Here's a pass to Tatum. Oh, a gorgeous feed. He hammered it down.
It's not surprising to see Tatum taking over offensively. I mean, he's capable of doing this on a nightly basis.
And timeout is called by Nick Nurse. No doubt he's going to utilize the opportunity to make sure they're all on the same page here. George, right side. And the foul called on Paul George. That's his first foul of the game.
And great job to establish position and square up.
The Celtics with the lead. Outside Tatum. Blocked! White against George. And blocked! That one goes careening off the glass. The bucket is good! And it's Tatum with the ball for the Celtics. Lets it go from 14. Not that time. Tatum with a steal. Oh, no good.
He was bothered just enough to miss that shot. That's good work by the defense.
Outside George. Outside Maxey. Tatum against Maxey. Outside Tatum. Banks it home. Big shot.
Wow. That takes steady nerves right there.
Completely unfazed by what's at stake. That's just clutch.
And timeout is called by Nick Nurse. And a great call on his part. This is the time you want to be in sync right here. What do you think Coach will be drawing up here?
A chance to tie it up here.
Well, there's no room for error here. They need to draw up something that they can execute quickly.
It's good.
This dude is nails in the clutch. You want your best shot at winning at the end, give the ball to PG.
And Joe Mazzulla has called timeout. And Coach didn't want to take any chances in this situation, which is why he called the TO. They've given up just 8 points in the fourth. Tatum looking it over.
Yeah, and you have to try to make something happen. I mean, they have to be aggressive at this point, even if it's risking a foul.
He sinks the clutch free throw. He can't sink it, and that was an important free throw. And with that win, they'll be moving on to round 2. And with this win in Game 6, they've won the series. They've got to be happy to be moving on.
And it was a competitive series for sure, one that they can build off of moving forward.
Well, that'll do it for now. Glad you could join us during the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. For reporter Allie LaForce and for Tim Legler and Grant Hill, this is Brian Anderson saying thank you for joining us. And as we leave you, here's a look at our player of the game, Jason Tatum.